I'm about to go live with my members over on my YouTube channel, but I wanted to come over here and chit chat with you guys and do some skincare. Maybe play with a few of my new eyeshadows that I got today before I do my skincare. So come on in, let's chit chat before I go live with my beauties over on my YouTube channel. So this is I got this new palette from LH Cosmetics, which is, Linda Hallberg. She's like super beautiful makeup artist that I found on YouTube, and I've been following her for years. And she makes these palettes that are supposed to be made to be able to use on all parts of your face, and so that's what I'm doing right now. So I just saw a video from a doctor, okay, who's claiming to be a pain educator, okay? Oh, that's dark. A pain educator. And he was talking about prescribing buprenorphine for people after they get out of surgery. Why on God's green earth would you prescribe suboxone, basically, buprenorphine, Subutex, whatever, buprenorphine, Butrans, whatever form of it you want to use, to somebody that just got out of surgery? Why wouldn't you just give them Percocet, hydrocodone, Vicodin, Tylenol 3? I mean, why? Why would you give them bupe? And that tells me that this doctor probably has never taken buprenorphine. Do you know how strong buprenorphine is? Do you know how strong bupe is? Have you ever taken buprenorphine? It is nothing to be played with, especially if you're somebody who doesn't have a dependency to opioids. I would not mess with no buprenorphine, okay? You will literally projectile vomit. It will fucking make you puke your guts out. Ooh, that's a pretty blush. I really like that blush, you guys. Yeah, it'll make you puke your guts out, basically, and because it's so fucking strong. I mean, think about it. Buprenorphine helps people who have heroin and fentanyl addictions get off of heroin and fentanyl. And so it's got to be strong, you know? It's just crazy to me that he's like talking about giving it to people for post-op pain, and I just don't understand that. Like, why would you want to stick somebody on it's a fucking hardcore medication, dude. Like, I would think that I would think that like hydros or something like that would be a lot safer. Oh, that's a really pretty blush. Okay, now we're going to take one of these like blushy toppers, and I'm going to put it over that because they're like glowy, and I want to see what they look like. Oh, yeah. Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm going to be going live over on my YouTube channel here in a minute. Oh, congratulations, Jalen. If you guys want to come, if you want to become a member, all you have to do is join my membership on Facebook. It's $5. And we have a members only live stream every Friday for members only. It's going to be dope. Hey. And then I also go live on Wednesdays for everybody on my YouTube channel, if that's something that you're interested in. How do I feel about methadone? I support it. I know lots of people that are on methadone and it saved their life. So I think I support all medication-assisted treatment. Doesn't matter if it's methadone or suboxone or Vivitrol or Sublocade. I support it all. And you know what? Methadone would even be a more understandable medication than giving somebody bupe after surgery. Okay, I could understand you giving them methadone before I could understand giving them buprenorphine. So I saw Claudia Miranda was over on his channel, so she'll be lighting his ass up soon. Like, giving a person suboxone, basically, after they get out of surgery, that's hilarious to me. That's crazy hilarious. Like, yeah, suboxone helps with pain, you guys. It's an opioid, for God's sakes. But, like, giving it to people that just got surgery, like, because you don't want to give them regular opiates? Like, is that the problem? You don't want to give them regular opiates? Like, why? There's nothing wrong with opiates. They help. They're not bad. Just because we're in a fentanyl epidemic doesn't mean that opiates are bad, you know? I'm just so confused. This palette, I really like it. So, cool. Okay. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? So, this doctor that I found is talking about giving people buprenorphine for post-operative pain. Are you hearing me? Brown. Giving people buprenorphine for post-operative pain. And I know I'm not a doctor. Never claimed to be one, okay? But I just got questions. Why on earth would you give somebody bupe when you could just give them hydrocodone? You know what I mean? Like, is it because they don't want to give people hydrocodone? Is that the problem? Oh, that's a gray color, I see. Yeah, same. Joseph, yes. That's, in my experience also, it was used for pain, right? But that's what I'm not understanding. Like, these doctors do not want to give people opiates. That's what it is. They're, like, all afraid to give opiates to people. And so imagine your little grandma, okay? Your little grandma goes in to get her hip replaced, okay? She doesn't take opiates. She doesn't take drugs at all. She goes in, she gets her hip replaced, and she comes out with a prescription of buprenorphine. And she gets home and she takes her buprenorphine like the doctor told her to. And you know what I bet he's doing? I bet you he's talking about giving them Butrans, which is in a patch. Still though, that's fucking crazy, dude. Like, why wouldn't you know? No, I'm pretty sure if he's probably giving them the oral. Either way, oral buprenorphine to a little old granny who's never had any kind of pain or anything or any kind of medication like that. If she was to take 2 milligrams of buprenorphine and put it underneath her tongue, she would literally be projectile vomiting, dude. Projectile vomiting. Because it's so strong. I know, I'm on it. I know. I have experience with it, personal experience. Before I got prescribed bupe, I was like, young, and I was wanting to get high. And so I found a friend, and I had her sell me some suboxone. This is way back in the day. I was very young. And I was like, yo, hey girl, sell me some suboxone. So she sold me some of her suboxone. Well, of course, I didn't know that it was strong like that. So I took a whole 8 milligram suboxone pill, and I took it. And I was projectile vomiting for 3 days. This is really pretty. For 3 days, okay? That's how strong it was. And I was somebody who abused opioids. Like, I had a tolerance. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't understand why doctors are, like, trying to move away from treating people's pain with, like, just regular opiates. You know? Okay, let me show you guys this. Okay? Look how pretty. Hey, Chastity, what's up, girl? So, I see your comment, Brett. You always got to come in here with some bullshit, don't you? So, Brett says, for me, being clean is being off everything. So, Brett, the key to what you just said is for me. For you. Being clean, which I'm not clean, buddy. I'm not a stack of dirty dishes or some dirty clothes. To you, being clean is being off everything. Well, baby, that's the difference. I'm not you. Right? That's why we're all different. We all recover differently. We all do things differently. And so, if I could have recovered without buprenorphine ever, you guys, I would have done it. Believe me, it would have been a lot easier. Okay? I tried for over 10 years to get sober without buprenorphine. Okay? It wasn't until I got on buprenorphine that I was able to get any kind of sobriety. I had been able to maintain about 6 to 9 months when I was trying to without bupe, and I was kept on relapsing. I went in and out of treatment, 8 treatment centers, 6 or 7 sober living centers, prison, jail, you know, the whole 9 yards. Losing custody of my son to CPS. And then, you know, when my back was up against the wall and CPS said, hey, if you don't get sober, we're going to terminate your rights. Because, you see, CPS found my ass in the treatment center with a Xanax bar hanging out of my mouth, passed out. Okay? So I got into the treatment center after my son got taken away. I got completely detoxed off all drugs. And then the next thing I know, I was having my husband sneak Xanax bars into me. So, getting on subs saved my life. I got on suboxone when I got out of treatment. I was 30 days sober. I got out of treatment. My husband picked me up. He said, hey, I got on suboxone. I said, motherfucker, why'd you do that? And he said, because I can't stay sober any other way. I've tried a million times to stay sober without it, and I've always failed. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to try to do it without it. And he's like, okay, so that's what I did. And then I ended up getting on it like a week or so later. And I'm really glad that I did, you guys. Because if I hadn't got on it, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be alive, y'all. I would not be alive today. Okay, I need y'all to hear me when I tell you that. I was in and out of treatment, okay? And I had worked the steps about 4 or 5 times through. I had done my 4 steps. I had done service work. I was chairing meetings. I was going to conventions. I had a very amazing relationship with God. I was really, really, really doing it. I wasn't half-assing it. When I got sober, every time I went to treatment, I wanted to change my life. I wanted to get sober, okay? I just was not able to maintain that, you know? And so when I was finally able to see, like, hey, I need help, dude. I can't do this, and I don't want to lose custody of my son for the rest of my life. That's when I opened my mind, and I said, man, I'm going to have to get on this medication, or else I'm not going to fucking get my kid back, you know? Please stop requesting to come in my life. Sorry, y'all. I need to do this, or I'm not going to get my kid back. My son's going to go to foster care, you know? And at that time, it wasn't about me anymore. My drug addiction wasn't just affecting me. It was affecting my son. You know, all my life I had always said, oh, well, it's not a big deal. I'm not hurting nobody else. I'm just hurting myself. It's not a big deal. I'm just getting high. Why is everybody tripping? Right? Well, honey, when you bring a child into the world, you ain't just affecting yourself anymore. It doesn't matter if you think that your drug addiction's not affecting your kids because you pay your bills and you fucking put your kids in school and you feed them and you do all this stuff. It does affect them. It does not matter if you think that they don't know that you're getting high. They know. They know. You know? So, I didn't want my drug addiction to ruin my son's life because that's where it was going. You know, my kid was in foster care, for God's sakes. And so it was a no-brainer to me, a no-brainer to get on subs because this was what they said to me. They said, if you relapse again, we will terminate your rights. And I was like, well, goddamn, man. I ain't never been in trouble before with CPS. Why is it so fucking strict now, you know? This is my first time in the ringer. What the hell? And I was not about to let them motherfucking asses take my fucking kid. Okay? Good. You know? So, that's why I got on subs. Now, once I got on them, and I got, you know, I used to taking them, and I got confident enough to share about being on them. It was about a year. A year after I got on them, I started sharing about my recovery because I asked my sponsor, who I was still working the steps with, because I was in a 12-step program the whole time. I said, can I share my story now that I got a year sober? And she was like, sure. And I was like, bet. So I went and told my story at the treatment center that I graduated from. And when I tell you guys, there wasn't a dry eye in the room. Everybody in there was crying, including me. I was crying. They were crying. We were all crying, dude. And so once I finished telling my story there, and everybody was crying, and I was crying. I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to share my life with people. I want to help people. I want to help people get sober. No matter what way they choose to do it, I want to help people improve their lives. Okay? And so that's when I started making content on Facebook about my recovery. And this was back in 2016. So here I am in 2016. I just got custody of my son back. I'm making videos about recovery. I'm feeling good. I'm happy to be able to help people. I'm sharing my truth about being on subs, right? Next thing I know, people on fucking Facebook making fun of me, telling me I'm not sober, telling me my recovery don't count because I'm on subs, telling me I have no business sharing my story or helping anybody. Oh, it was horrible. Horrible. And I was like, man, I'm going to quit. Fuck this. I'm not telling my story no more. I give up. I'm quitting. And so I deleted my Facebook account. I deleted my Facebook account, and I got offline, and I was crying, telling my husband, how upset I was. And then after I stopped crying, I started getting fucking mad. I was like, man, fuck this shit. Who the fuck are these strangers on the internet telling me that I'm not in recovery and that I'm not sober and that I'm not doing the good thing? Who the hell are they? I don't even know these people. Why am I letting what they say affect me? And then I sat there a little bit longer and I thought about all the other people who were new in recovery. 2 days sober, 3 days sober, 1 week on suboxone, 2 weeks on suboxone, brand new in the program, 1 day on methadone, 1 day on Sublocade, whatever, right? I started thinking about all those people who get told that they're not in recovery and get told that their recovery is not valid and that they can't pick up a coin at the 12-step meetings, right? And I thought about how discouraging it must be for all those people to be told that their recovery is not valid. I thought, ain't that some shit? What's up, man? I said, I'm going to fucking go to war. And that's what I did. I started my own YouTube channel and I created a recovery community of my own. A community that supports people wherever they're at, no matter what pathway to recover they choose. That could be Cali sober, that could be MAT, that could be praying to Jesus and standing on a handstand and doing some twerks by a tree. It could be fucking, talking in Spanish upside down, hanging from a fucking wire. I don't know. It could be anything. Anything that betters their life and they're making progress towards positive change, that's what I support. Okay? And so I started my YouTube channel, and the next thing I know, we're here on TikTok with basically 300,000 people across all my platforms, maybe a little bit more than that now, that are all inclusive, that support all pathways to recovery, no matter how you recover or where you recover or what time you recover or anything. Because honestly, recovery has nothing to do with the substance, y'all. That's just a symptom, right? Taking drugs was just what made us feel better from what was really going on, which was trauma, depression, ADHD, anxiety, brokenheartedness, poor family upbringing, sexual abuse, all these different things, right? All these different things that are the root cause of our drug addictions, right? The reason why we started using. So I don't really give a fuck about what medications you take. What I care about is how you're healing the root cause of why you started using those drugs, right? And so when I started to realize that, anybody that has to go around and tell somebody else that they're not in recovery because of a medication that they take, that person is sick. Okay? If you think that you are the end-all, be-all to what recovery is, then you need to go back. You need to get back in line and do it over. Okay? Because what you should be doing is focusing on yourself. Focusing on how you can be of service to other people and help them improve their lives. Okay, that's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be practicing patience and love and tolerance and lifting people up and encouraging them to make positive changes in their life. And if getting on subs is a positive change for somebody, then you should be there for them to support them. If you see somebody that's coming off the street who is shooting, fentanyl every single day, and now they're going to the methadone clinic, you should be proud of them for making positive change in their life, for pushing forward and doing the right thing, right? Just because what somebody's doing for their sobriety isn't what you would do doesn't mean that it's wrong. Okay? Just because you wouldn't do it doesn't mean that I shouldn't do it, you know? And I don't think people understand, like, do we understand how deadly the addiction is? Do we understand that, like, people are literally dropping dead like flies every single day? You know, being on MAT has enabled me to be a mother, okay, to my son, to be a wife to my husband, to be a fucking sister to my sister, an aunt to my little nephew, you know, my whole family. Oh, I'm not really talking at you, Brett. I'm just talking in general now. I'm not upset with you. I'm just saying. But I think that I hope this is a learning moment for you, because you said it right there. You know, what's good for you is being clean for you is not taking medication. And I hope to God, if you're saying that you're not taking any medication, okay? That you're not taking any ibuprofen, you're not taking any Advil, you're not taking any muscle relaxers, you're not taking any insulin, you're not drinking any coffee, you're not smoking any cigarettes, you're not fucking eating sugar, right? These are all addictive substances, all right? These are all addictive substances. Shoot, sugar's more addicting than fucking heroin, you know? That's right. What about someone with a placement? Is that saying that's not a real joint? Oh, yeah, I understand. I was like, what do you mean? So, do you understand what I'm saying, you guys? And I used to, listen to me, I understand. I was indoctrinated into 12-step abstinence-based recovery. I was brainwashed to believe that that was the only way to get sober. And that if I didn't get sober that way, then I wasn't in recovery and I was a failure. I was not doing it right. I wasn't praying hard enough. I wasn't willing enough. I must have not wanted it bad enough. I must have not done my 12 steps the right way. I must have missed something when I was writing my 4th step out. I fucking give y'all a 4th step every day I come on here and tell my motherfucking life story. I share my whole damn life on here. You know, like, I never leave nothing out. And so when I fucking started doing stuff like that and seeing, like, oh wow, I'm still not staying sober and I'm doing everything that they're telling me to do. You know, have you ever thought about that, you guys? How you kept going in and out, back and forth, right? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about, wow, like, I go to rehab, and then rehab teaches me about 12-step. Then I get out of rehab and I go into sober living where they do 12-step. And then I'm supposed to stay in sober living, and then I'm supposed to get out and then do 12-step. And then I relapse and I go back through rehab. You don't see how it's like a circle jerk? So 12-step is rubbing rehab's back, rehab's rubbing 12-steps back, and they're like literally making money hand over fist. While we're all trying to stay sober by their way, that's not working for the majority of us. For the majority, okay? If AA and NA worked that well for so many people, man, I'm telling you guys, the majority of people do not get sober through 12-step recovery. The majority of people get to a point in their life where they're getting older, they're getting sick and tired of fucking living the life that they're living, and they're like, damn, I gotta make a change. They grow up out of that shit. You know, now, of course, there's people I know people that are 60 years old that are still banging meth. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to tell you guys is most people grow out of that and get to a point where they want to change their life, you know? And so I just don't want any of you guys to ever feel like you have to be like that. And that's what made me so sick for so long, is that I felt like I was a failure because I wasn't like them. You know, but now I realize, like, I don't want to be in that. I don't want to be brainwashed to believe that I have to fit into this little itty bitty program, right? That holds me in this one spot where I go to meetings, I call my sponsor, I only have my friends that are at the meetings, and it's just like, I want to do more than that, you know? I want to be able to help people in all areas of life, not just helping them go through the steps. You know, I want to help people that are active drug addicts get clean syringes. I want to help people who have wounds that are open and help them get wound care. I want to help women who don't have access to condoms and birth control. I want to help those women. You know, I want to do all that kind of stuff, you know? No, I'm not in it. No, I'm not in NA. No. I was in AA for years. And the reason why I get so, like, heated when I talk about this, you guys, is because it made me sick, dude. I almost killed myself trying to do the 12 steps, man. Do you understand how many years I was in those fucking meetings every single day, dude? Relapsing? Do you understand that? And now I got on suboxone, dude. I got into therapy. I started connecting with God. I got into therapy. I created a community around me of people that help me stay accountable. And I take my medication and go to therapy. And I have never felt better. Never felt better. And I don't have anyone in my community or my fellowship who makes me feel less than if I struggle, who thinks that I relapse if I don't come to a meeting or go live. Okay? I actually have people that are cheering me on, you know? And so it really was toxic for me, the 12 steps and abstinence-based recovery. You know, and when I say abstinence-based recovery, just assume I'm meaning the 12 steps, because that's what I'm meaning. Because if you're just abstinent and you're not in a 12-step program, I commend you, because I understand why you didn't want to do it. And now I understand why so many people for so many years would tell me, like, Nicole, you're just a robot. You're just a robot in their freaking rinky-dink program where they're just circle jerking you around, you know? Yeah, and so listen, it takes what it takes for every single one of us, okay? It takes what it takes, all right? So it doesn't matter, like, what somebody says no person is going to save you from your addiction. Nobody is going to it doesn't matter if your sponsor has 50 years sober, okay? You're the only person who's going to save yourself, okay? You're the only person who can change yourself. You're the only person, okay? So they don't have nothing to do with it, dude. It's all about you and changing your perception, okay? Changing the way that you look at life and your priorities, man. When you start looking at your life as something that you want to, like, I want to have a life where I'm happy, where I don't want to run away from home and not be present with my family, right? I want to be able to be present with my family and feel good and feel. I love my husband. I like laying in bed with him at night. I like watching TV, right? I like chilling with my son. I ain't got to be running around no more. I love being at my house. I'd rather be at home than out and about any day, because I have created a life that I enjoy now. I like being with my family, you know? And so that's what you got to do. When you get off drugs, you got to find something you got to find a life and build a life that you enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to, like, fit into this, like, box that everybody else is trying to make you fit into, you know? And I'm telling you guys right now, all right? I'm telling you right now. It is so hard after you have been, like, literally brainwashed in Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous for 20 years. It is so hard to get away from the way that they teach us. A lot of the things that are taught in these programs are shame-based, okay? Shame-based, all right? Like, I just can't explain it to y'all. It's hard for me to freaking, to be able to get it across to you in words, because it's just been years and years and years and years that I was blocked up in those motherfucking programs. And I felt so bad. These programs that were trying to make me better, made me feel bad. And then you know what I did? I did it to my husband. I pushed that shit onto my husband. I tried to make my husband do 12 steps. I tried to make him, and you know what? He would never do it. He would never get into it. He never enjoyed it. It was not something that he wanted or enjoyed or looked forward to doing at all. But I was adamant on making my husband do 12-step abstinence-based recovery. And look at me now. You know, like I feel bad about that. I used to tell people that it was the only way to get sober. If they didn't do it, then they were going to die. And I feel horrible. And I learned many, many lessons, you guys, many lessons. When you'll learn lessons too, if you are in a program, you'll learn a lesson. If anything ever happens, if you relapse, if you decide you believe in harm reduction and you want to go work at a harm reduction place and your little fellows at those meetings find out, they'll disown your ass. It's crazy. Nikki, I got into therapy. I created my own little community, which, I mean, you can be a part of something, okay? Get into something that you're passionate about, right? Find something that makes you excited. Like if you like working out or you like reading, get into a book club, get into therapy, start getting it spirituality, connecting with a power greater than yourself, whatever that may be. You know, but therapy really, really helped me a lot. I think therapy was like the most important thing at first because I was really able to like get outside of myself and talk to somebody about how I was feeling and what I was struggling with, you know, and somebody that was objective, that could help me to learn how to tackle the things that I was struggling with and how to cope with the things that I was struggling with, right? I'm getting my certification, Antonio, AA. I was learning new ways to cope with this counselor, you know? And so new ways to cope could be things as simple as, okay, I'm triggered or I'm mad. I feel some type of way. I'm going to go take a walk instead of cussing people out and going and getting high. Oh, I want to use drugs. I'm going to go take a hot bath and paint my toenails while I'm in the bathtub. Like these are different ways to cope with things, right? Changing your thinking and moving on to something else, you know? Writing it down, reaching out to friends, fucking finding a hobby, like all these things. You really, when you guys get off drugs, I want you to understand that stopping, right? Don't obsess over staying stopped, okay? What you need to do is focus on your new life that you're beginning to build. Hey, Ron, instead of being like, oh my gosh, I have to stay sober now. This is going to be so hard, right? I don't know how I'm going to stay sober. You need to totally stop talking like that. You need to start thinking about, oh wow, I've got a new life now. I get to build a whole brand new life in recovery. This is a new adventure, right? And so instead of looking at it as something to be afraid of, look at it as a new adventure, right? Your recovery is a new adventure that you've never stepped foot on before, and now you get to take this new adventure and learn new things about yourself and look at it that way. Stop looking at it as in, I have to stay stopped. I have to stay off drugs, right? Because when you do that, your brain is like, you know, your brain's tripping. Your brain starts thinking, why isn't she giving me what I want, right? So instead, give your brain what it wants. Get excited about your new journey in recovery. Find things that make you feel good in your sobriety, right? If you have a significant other, you guys could start like doing things together that are uplifting and helping each other, right? Like little exercises where you guys learn how to communicate better and help each other in recovery. So, sorry, I went on a little bit of tangent there. And I wasn't mad at you, Brett. Your comment just like made me, your comment inspired me to talk about, you know, to talk about how a lot of people say those things to me. You know, they'll say, you know, to me, recovery is this. And like, that's the key right there. To you. Okay, you're not going to be the person who comes to my house and takes care of my son if I overdose and die. You know what I mean? Like, if I fucking go out and kill somebody with my vehicle because I'm drinking and driving, are you going to fucking take the charge? No, motherfucker, you're not. you know? And so it's really hard as drug addicts, because we want validation from our peers, right? We want to be accepted. We want to be a part of. And it's hard when people say things like, you know, you're not sober, you're not in recovery. It sucks. It's a sucky ass feeling to hear people say those things, you know? But those people, y'all, you won't even remember their names tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, if I could I just want to stress that to you guys so many times, because I used to get my feelings hurt so bad by people that don't even know my fucking whole name. You know, they don't even know my fucking whole name. They don't even know my last name, honey. So hold on, I gotta get my lip gloss. Y'all already know. It's because I'm a lip gloss addict. So anyway, that's my rant for the day. Sorry, I got on a little rant, but it needed to be said. I just want people to, like, understand that, you know, you're okay anytime, Nikki. I just want people to understand that, like, recovery don't have nothing to do with, like, your medications that you're taking. It has nothing to do with that. Like, it's so much more complex than medicine. Right? Medicine has nothing to do with it. I gotta plug in my computer. And I am fixing to go live, you guys, with my members. If any of you guys want to come and be a member on my YouTube channel and join our members only live, all you have to do is go to my YouTube channel, and there'll be a little button that says join beside my name. Press join, and then come hang out with us. Hold on. And you know, I used to not understand. I used to really believe that it was all about what drugs or alcohol we were taking and stuff like that. That's what I thought recovery was. I thought recovery was all about how you stopped using drugs, right? And I didn't realize until I had been sober for some years what recovery really was, you know? Recovery is the healing on the inside that we do. Recovery is the getting honest and making living amends and showing people, like, look, I'm doing the right thing today. Like helping your parents, letting them know, and they see and they're so proud of you. You know, sharing about your recovery with other people. That's a huge, amazing accomplishment to share with other people, to encourage other people. You know. Getting your mental health in line and getting it balanced out, that's recovery, okay? Healing from past traumas, that's recovery. Gaining back all the things that you lost while you were out there being a junkie, that's recovery, you know? A lot of people take medication and will take medication for the rest of their lives, you know? And so I tell a lot of my people that are on subs or methadone, don't tell anybody. Don't tell nobody you're on subs. If you feel like you can't handle people saying rude shit, don't say nothing. Because I'm telling you what, there's going to be people that are going to say mean shit, okay? And so if you don't say nothing, you don't have to worry about it. And you know what? Those people will never know the fucking difference. And you know what? Some of the very people that say, oh my gosh, being on suboxone, being on methadone is not sober, they're on it too. A lot of them are. A lot of those people are on MAT. They're closet MATers. And they get joy out of making people feel bad about being on MAT because they feel bad about it. Or the people who judge you for being on subs are people who were on subs and jumped off cold turkey and had a horrible experience because they didn't listen to their doctors. And so now they're going to make everyone else have a horrible experience. oh, you're on subs, you're going to die. It's the worst medication to come off of. It's worse than heroin. You might as well be doing shooting fentanyl in your veins. I mean, gosh, are you just Big Pharma's puppet? That's what these people do. Because they fucked up. Because they didn't follow their doctor's suggestions and fucking taper. You know? Don't project your fucking shortcomings onto me because you didn't listen. So, anyway. I'm just sick and tired of seeing people that are friends with me hurt people in recovery with their words because of a medication. You know, I believe that we should all what I believe we should do is we should all be able to be in recovery, talk about our recovery, and if we're on MAT, I don't think anybody should comment on that. So, you know, like, I don't think there should be any videos that are made like, oh, my opinion is suboxone's not sober, or my opinion is methanone's not in recovery. I don't think those videos should be made. I believe that if you have an opinion and you're sober, you should keep it to yourself, because you should always ask yourself one thing before you talk. Is this going to hurt somebody or help somebody? Is what I'm going to say going to hurt or help someone? Okay? Because what you need to start thinking about, you need to start thinking about the person who is new. The new person who just got on MAT. The new person who just got into recovery. All right? Think about how you were when you just first came into recovery. How you were struggling and you were insecure, okay? And you were afraid and you didn't know if you were going to make it. Think about how you felt back then. All right? If you can think about how you felt back then you can empathize with other people in their place, where they're at in recovery, you know? So, anyways, I love you guys. I'm going to get off here because I'm going to go do my members only live, and I'll be back on after I get done with that. Oh, and I'm going to be live over with Dr. B in 1 hour. So if y'all want to come over to Dr. B's YouTube channel, it's Dr. B Addiction Recovery. Me and him are going to go live in 1 hour. All right. Love you guys.